right? Your ultimate dream of what you really want to create in your life. Because everything you want or to achieve all starts with having that vision. If you don't have a vision, then you're not going to be excited. You're not going to have that motivation. You're not going to have that drive. And I believe that the ultimate reason why you want to build an online business is to create a certain lifestyle, a certain quality of life. Would you guys all agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Whether that lifestyle is living in a certain home, or be able to travel the world, or to be able to have a certain car, or be able to give to charities, or to be able to share that with your family and friends, or maybe that's to be able to improve your health, or go to seminars and events and accelerate your growth, or maybe it's just have whatever free time to do what you want, when you want, with whomever you want. You know, that lifestyle is what we're all really after. And what I found that a powerful process that really served me in my life when I was first getting started on my journey was getting really clear on what that vision is, what that lifestyle would really look like, and what it'd feel like, what it'd sound like, and really experience that and bring it in. And I think having a vision is great. You know, when you visualize and you create this incredible vision that you might have 5, 10, 20 years from now, but if you can actually quantify it, be a little bit more specific about it, and clarify exactly what that lifestyle would look like, and actually write out all the elements of that, of where you'd live, and the car that you would drive, or multiple cars, or multiple homes, or the vacations that you'd go on, or the experiences that you'd have, or what would that include and entail. When you actually write that out and you get specific about it, it becomes more real for you. It's something that you can actually visualize. It's a little bit more tangible than just something that's out there. And then you can take it a step further, which is what we're also going to do as well, is write down exactly what it costs for you to be able to afford that lifestyle. Okay? And we're going to calculate the monthly cost, which is something, a general number that can allow you to say, okay, you know what? This is what this lifestyle will cost. Oftentimes people think that it's a number that's way beyond what they could even imagine. They think it's just unattainable. But when you actually write it down and you figure it out, you might realize, hey, you know what? I can actually achieve this one day. You know, it's not as big as I thought. A lot of people think they got to be a billionaire or to make millions of dollars, and they got to maybe have a private jet or all these different homes or whatever that might be. But when you actually break it down, there's certain ways you could still live that lifestyle without having to have that amount of money. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to break it down even further, from the monthly cost to your daily cost of what it costs, how much you'd have to make, and then even the hourly cost. And we're going to clarify how much your business would have to make, okay? Even subtracting expenses, you know, the gross profit and net profit, the taxes you might have to pay, just to give you a general idea from that. And then once you know that, once you know, okay, you know what, this is what it's going to be, when do I want to achieve this by? Is it in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And you might all of a sudden realize, hey, you know what? I can maybe achieve this in the next 5 years. 5 years from now, even though I might be starting late, 5 years, if I work my ass off, if I do what's necessary, I could be living this lifestyle, and I'll still have so much more of my life to be able to enjoy this and live this and be able to pass this on beyond my years to other people that I care about and love, and really rock the rest of my life, really enjoy it at a new level. And then what we're going to do is break it down into more short-term goals, because oftentimes that can be so far out there, which is great. It's great to have that vision. Maybe you can do a vision board and get images of that and be more specific about it. But breaking it down, okay, you know what? If this is something I want to achieve in the next 5 years or 10 years, you know, what are the milestones? What would I have to do on a yearly basis? The steps I'd have to take that will lead me to this ultimate dream lifestyle. So for example, if it's maybe your lifestyle is going to cost you $1 million a year. Okay, great. Well, you know, that might mean if I want to achieve that over the next 5 years, well, this year, by the end of 2017, I've got to have earned and generated this amount. Maybe it's just getting started. Maybe it's $10,000. Maybe it's next year you got to generate $70,000 from your business. Maybe the year after that, it's $150,000. Maybe the year after that, it's $300,000, $700,000. And then before you know it, within 5 or 6 years, you could be at $1 million. And oftentimes what I found is that the beginning is always the slowest. It's almost like the grass is growing. But as the compound effect, you know, it goes like this, and then it scales in a huge way, because once you get to a point where you're making some money and you're at that point where that tree starts to sprout, it's amazing how much faster it grows. It's amazing how fast that process accelerates. And that's been my experience in almost every business out there, beginning, you're trying to prove the concept, you're going through the learning curve, everything is brand new, but then you have a certain moment where things just really start to take off. And that's when it gets exciting. That's when you can scale. You've proven the concept. You can spend more money that can ramp it up. In fact, I had, John Reese was the first guy on the internet to make $1 million in a day. And one thing that he said is that if you can make $1 online, $1, then you're 95% of the way there to making $1 million online. Because that $1 is the hardest. To make that $1, that's actually the most rewarding. I look back at my first dollar that I made, and this excitement that I had, even though it wasn't a significant amount of money, it proved to me, it validated, it gave me confidence that this works. And then making that $100 in a month, and your brain starts to race and thinks, oh my God, $100, that could pay for my cell phone bill every month. I've just found a way to pay for my entire cell phone bill month after month. If that's a passive income, it could be that book that I've got, or then you think, hey, you know what, how could I amp this up? How can I turn this into $200 a month? Okay, you know what, I just gotta publish more content. Hey, you know what, I just gotta get more leads and opt-ins. Hey, you know what, I just gotta publish more books. Hey, you know what, I just gotta get more sales. I gotta find a way to double, and I can just double down my efforts. And so your brain starts racing like that, and it starts to calculate and realize, hey, you know what? This is more real for me now. All of a sudden, if I can do $100 in a month, then you can get up to $1,000 in a month. It's just finding a way to get more traffic, more sales, more leads, and more products, and just rinse and repeating that process. And then you can scale up even further and further and further and further. Okay, so that's how your brain kind of thinks. And that's what I did initially when I started my business, is I actually looked at part of my existing lifestyle. And so for example, one thing I used to do is I would actually write out what my current lifestyle would be. And this could be something you guys could do maybe at a later point if you'd like. So I would just kind of calculate my monthly expenses. So I don't know what that might be for you, but let's say your rent or mortgage payments, are $2,000 a month. Maybe your car payments, are $500 a month. Maybe your gym membership is $50 a month. Maybe your phone payments are $70 in a month. Maybe your Netflix subscription, it's $10 in a month, right? And you'd make a list. These are my monthly cost of living expenses. And you would think, okay, great. How can I just knock off one of these on my list? First one we'll try to knock off is the Netflix. How can I make $10 a month, right? And that's pretty easy to find a way to create. You can launch an Amazon product, a Kindle book. You could do some affiliate marketing, launch a course, many different ways to be able to accomplish that. And then once you achieve that, great, you've made that happen. Then you think, hey, how can I create a new passive income that pay for my cell phone? Find a way to do that, knock that off. How can I pay for my gym membership? And then eventually, before you know it, you're able to create new passive income or income streams that can pay for almost anything that you want. For me today, when I think, hey, if there's something that I want, how can I create a passive income stream that will pay for that? If I want this car, how much would that cost? Okay, great. How can I create a passive income? I know maybe I can launch a course, and that course will earn me a certain amount of money, and that would then pay for what it is that I desire. So that's how you want your brain to think. Oftentimes people think, well, I can't afford that. That's a horrible thing to say. You should instead ask, how can I afford that? How can I find a way to be able to buy or enjoy that? Because at least then, when you say I can't afford it, you close off your brain from any new possibilities, ideas, or anything that could allow you to actually have that one day. But if you instead ask a question that can be empowering, that will lead you to new choices, opportunities, ideas, then that's going to actually allow you to be able to use your brain a little bit more in a more empowering way to achieve that. So when it comes to your ultimate dream lifestyle, for this, we're going to think big. There's a lot of people that don't think big enough, and they don't realize and believe that anything's possible. So I want to ask you guys, what are some things for you that would be part of your ultimate dream lifestyle? Okay, now right now I want you to be like a kid, which requires you to get out of your head. Because your head is going to think, oh, well, that's not possible, or I can't achieve that, or it's going to think of all these reasons, excuses, and doubts. Whereas a child has no limitations, right? They just, whatever they believe, I want to be the president, I want to, have an airplane. They just believe, they dream, they're not logical, and they don't shut their vision and their imagination off. So if you were to be kids for a moment and just have your imagination, what would be just something that one day, could be 10 years, 20 years from now, that'd be part of your lifestyle? And I want you to think about your home that you might live in. Maybe it's multiple homes, living in a different part of the world, traveling the world, cars, having maybe a housekeeper, having, flying around the world. What would that be for you guys? What would be part of it? Just list a few things. I'm going to write them down. Yeah. And by the way, who would love to be so abundant in their life that they could just easily give without fear, without scarcity? If there's a moment, there's an opportunity, knowing that you can make that impact. Awesome. And that's part of the goal too, right? I remember a moment for me in my life. I was in Cambodia on one of the early trips that I made, and I was broke and struggling. And all these kids would come up to me, and they'd ask for money, and they'd try to sell you books and different things to try to make money, and they're really smooth talkers and whatnot, and I'd just kind of give what I could, but it really frustrated me that I couldn't really give and really help as much as I wanted to. And I remember one day, I said, okay, I've got 20 bucks that I can give today. And I put that aside. I was like, 20 bucks I'm gonna give. And there was a kid, I gave him the 20 bucks. And all of a sudden, all these other kids saw this, and I literally had like 20 kids that surrounded me, and I was walking, I was in Angkor Wat at the time, in Siem Reap area there in Cambodia. And I remember I was walking, all these kids were following me, and I was like trying to explain to them that I didn't have more money to give. And I remember it just broke my heart. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna find a way that one day I'm gonna be able to give without any fear or limitations. I'm gonna be so abundant that I'm never gonna have to go through that again. So that's something that's always motivated me, right? These are all things that will motivate you, that will drive you. This is gonna get a little bit heady. Okay, we're gonna have to go to our head, we're gonna have to use our logical brain for a moment. But then we're gonna do a guided visualization to get you guys outside of your head, a little bit more into your body, your heart, visualize it. Then I'm gonna have you guys go through this exercise, and we're gonna lead it afterwards as well into helping you create a plan for your business that will make this more achievable for you as well. Okay, because I don't want to just, it's great to have a vision, hey, I want to achieve that one day, but if you don't have a plan for it, if we're not breaking down what you have control of, the process, because that's ultimately what I want you guys to focus on, is the process. It's great to have, you got to have this, you got to have the target, right? You got to have the result, you got to have the goals of how much money you want to make, the lifestyle, you got to get clear on that, but we've also got to get clear on the process. Because the process you have full control over. If you do that process, and maybe you got to course correct at different times and change it a little bit here and there, but as long as you do that, you focus on that, you will be able to create and achieve whatever lifestyle that you want. Okay? So first look at this form here. This is just a sample. I provided samples for you guys. But I've written out just kind of general things for myself that were part of my ultimate dream lifestyle. And as you can see, I've just listed a bunch of different items, and I've written down the cost as well as the monthly payment. Now, when it comes to the item, you want to be as specific as possible. Okay, so just saying, hey, I want to live in a nice home, that's not very specific. Write down, what kind of home would you like to live in? How big would it be? Where would it be? Would it be on the beach? Which part of the world would that house be? And just get a little bit more clear and more descriptive about what that really is for yourself, what that means. And then when it comes to the cost, that's something that you don't have to be perfect with. Okay, often the cost, what I often do with it, I'll just kind of get a rough idea from that. You can even look up on your phone if you wanted to, or look online of what it cost in that area for that size of a place or home, what the cost would be. But often when you look at the cost, you might be, oh my God, that's so overwhelming. I've got to have that amount of money. But what I want you to more focus on is the monthly payment. Okay, monthly payment. It's going to break it down into more of a bite-sized chunk. So the monthly payment might be, you might realize I might want to live in this certain kind of home in a certain part of the world. It's going to maybe cost you a certain amount of money, $4 million if you were to own that. But instead, if you break down, okay, what would it cost if I were to rent that? Or what would it cost if I had a mortgage or 25 or 30 years with a certain interest rate, and get a general idea of what that monthly cost would be. And the number doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Because the numbers are going to change anyways. There's going to be inflation. Real estate market might go up, might go down. It might cost more, might cost less. Okay, but just get a general idea of what that would cost. So I've got a mansion and a penthouse. I've written down a car, Tesla. A JetSmart membership, which is a private jet. It's kind of like the Uber for private jets. Exotic vacation every 90 days. Just a rough estimate of what that might cost, depending on what that vacations might entail. A full-time personal chef, a housekeeper, personal trainer, maybe entertainment, groceries, supplements, health, random bills, seminars, trainings, charities, whatever your lifestyle entails. Okay? No right or wrong, whatever it is that you want. Now, once you have that, you want to calculate what the monthly payment would be every single month. So here I've got $107,000. That's what it costs to live that ultimate lifestyle, which is almost $1.3 million in a year. Now, if you take this form here, this other sample page, break it down even further. So the yearly dream lifestyle cost would be $1,291,572 per year. If you divide that by 12, that's $107,631 per month, a little bit more achievable. Break that down by your daily dream lifestyle cost. So you take the yearly, divide that by 365, and you're going to get $3,538 per day. Okay, a little bit more achievable. And then the hourly dream lifestyle cost, you divide the daily by 24 hours, then you got to be earning $147 per hour. Okay, a lot more achievable. So, for example, if you had an online course that you sold for $147, you would just need 24 sales a day of that course in order to earn that amount of money. Okay, so you start to think, oh, you know what, this is a little bit, and once we do the next exercise, it'll make more sense for you too. Then you've got to be a little bit more realistic, because it's great to say, hey, you know what, this is how much I need to make, but this is how much you need to net in your business to be able to afford this lifestyle. So then what you'd want to do is kind of guesstimate a little bit of what would have to be the revenue of your business, what would have to be the gross income of your business, and you'd factor in, okay, you know what, there's going to be some expenses involved, and there's going to be some taxes as well. Just get a general idea of how much your business would have to do in order for you to be able to earn that amount of money for your lifestyle. So for me, I wrote down just a rough idea. It'd be about $2.6 million, and then to be able to profit at least $1.3 million. And then I wrote down, I'm committed to achieving this ultimate dream lifestyle by, you put in the specific date of when your expectation, your milestone of when you want to achieve this by, and then how old will you be in that moment, okay? And then you're gonna break it down even further. You're gonna break it down into yearly goals up until that date of what your years are gonna have to look like in order for you to be able to achieve that. So if you decide that you need to make $1 million in a year, and the goal is that by 2020, 5 years from now, then you're going to write out 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, and 2017. And then you might determine, okay, you know what? Maybe by 2021, I've got to earn $750,000. Maybe by 2020, you've got to earn $500K. Maybe by 2019, it's $250,000. Maybe by 2018, you've got to earn $100,000. And maybe by 2017, it's $20,000. Okay, just to give you a more realistic blueprint. Okay, and again, we're just speculating, because really that's all goal setting is. You're making a guess, a speculation based on the limited knowledge and experience that you have, because you haven't been through it yet, so you don't really know. You don't know really what the process is, but you're just getting a general idea and breaking that down into a little bit more achievable bite-sized chunks, because this is a lot more achievable, 20K, even if it's in this year or the next year, versus the $1 million in a year. Often that's just way far out there. It's great to have that, but let's figure out, okay, what is it going to take to get there? Okay, and you can do this as long, if you could do this for 10 years if you wanted to. You could do it shorter, longer, whatever it is that you decide based on what your lifestyle goal is. And maybe you determine, you know what, this, even though this is my ultimate dream lifestyle, right? This is your ultimate dream lifestyle. Maybe this one right here is just my current lifestyle. That just this alone could excite you. By 2018, earning 100K, that could allow you to quit your job. It could allow you to still live a great lifestyle, maybe the current lifestyle that you have, or not be stressed about it or have to trade your time for that. So, even just having that short term, that can excite you as well, but this is the ultimate that you want to go after.